And good evening, everyone, and welcome in to the Orange Fire Media Podcast. I'm Russ Renault, your host, and thank you for joining us here on episode number 6. This is our 6th week of doing this, and just wanted to say thanks to everybody who's been here from the beginning. Wanted to thank everyone who's just joining us for the first time, and I'll let you know what we do here every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. We talk about the UFC event that just happened. We talk about what we're going to do going forward, some fights to make after those events, what's on the schedule already, and then we will get in and we will open up some cards because that's what we're here for. That's what makes us different. We're not a break. This is just what we do for fun on here. Although everything is available and you can make offers, and you can reach me at Russ at orange-fire.com. You can reach us on all the social media platforms at Orange Fire Media. And this is the Orange Fire Media Podcast. And just want to say thanks again to everybody who's been here from the beginning. And what we had hoped to do when we first started out was we wanted to give away cards. And I'll get to that, and I'll show you some stuff in just a few minutes. But we were hoping to do our first subscriber card giveaway tonight, but just with things getting started, I'm sure everybody can imagine how hard it is to kind of get something like this off the ground, and a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, you see the subscriber numbers aren't real high right now, but we're working on that. Trying to promote this podcast as much as we can. And for those of you who have been consistent or watching it on a regular basis, and you have friends who are in the hobby who like the UFC, that you'd let them know, and that we can grow this podcast, because I just want to open cards. I want to get cards in the hands of the people who want them. If you collect somebody in particular, you can let me know. I've got the chat open if you want to. Send me a message. I can see it. Just tell me who you PC. We can talk about stuff that's on the chat. If you have any questions, just send those in. It's right there for you. And just let me know. And we'll talk about what you want to talk about, not just what I want to talk about every week. So first, we're going to talk about UFC 285 that happened last night. And that was phenomenal. We're going to talk about the upcoming fight cards. We're going to get to our hobby top 5. That's kind of our segment that we like to do every week. Talk about the hottest 5 fighters in the hobby, not so much in the octagon itself, but whose cards are hot right now, who are people chasing, who they're after. We'll talk about who our hobby top 5 is for this week. A little bit of movement in that. Didn't have much movement the first couple of weeks, but now we're starting to see some changes, and I'm sure when that new Prism product drops in a month or so that we'll see even more. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So just appreciate everybody coming on the show. What we got coming up is we will be opening a box of retail optic and a box of hobby optic tonight. So we're going to do that for the next 2 weeks. Got 2 optic hobbies, 2 optic retail. So we're going to open one of each of the next 2 weeks, and I think you can see that peeking out up the top of the screen right here. The last hobby box I have right now is a box of 22 Prism, and we'll get to that in 2 weeks. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be opening some hobby boxes. We opened a box of Immaculate each of the last 2 weeks, and we'll show you when we get to that segment where we start opening cards. I'll show you what we pulled out of those. And we'll also get to what our card giveaways are. Really excited about those. Really excited to get them started. And I'm really sorry for everybody kind of over promised and under delivered on that. But we're going to give away cards. We're going to give away more because once we open the rest of these 22 products, that's when we'll do the card giveaways, because we can add to these lots that we have going whatever we pull out of the retail and anything that's not really low numbered. Or who knows, maybe we'll just throw in a low numbered card into these lots. We got 5 fighters, and we'll talk about those as we go on. But first, let's get to UFC 285. What an awesome night. Hope you got to see that. Hope you go back and watch it. if you haven't. What a night. Let's just start off with the main event and the return of John Bones Jones to the heavyweight division this time, taking on the number one contender, Surreal Gane. And what a walkthrough for Johnny Bones. Jones getting the job done, submission win, first round, made it really look easy, and now the heavyweight king. And we'll talk about what's next for him in just a few minutes once we kind of get through the rest of the card. Another just a tremendous upset last night, really one of the only ones. It kind of gone chalk for the whole night until you got to the co-main event. And the 6th ranked women's flyweight Alexa Grasso becoming the new champion with a victory over the legend Valentina Shevchenko. Grasso getting submission in the 4th round. So congratulations to you if you bet on that fight and you had Grasso by submission. In with the over/under on rounds 3.5, 4. So congrats if you had that on your betting ticket. What a night for Alexa Grasso, and we'll talk about what that means for the women's flyweight division. Also, last night we had in the welterweight division, the man Shavkat Rakhmonov defeating Jeff Neal, getting the standing submission on the rear naked choke. Just another tremendous performance by Shavkat. We'll talk about him. I'm sure you may see him in our hobby top 5. Don't want to give that away too soon, but just a great performance. 17-0, all 17 wins via the finish. So Shavkat really jumping up the rankings in an impressive win last night. We got to Mateus Gamrot defeating Jalen Turner in what was not the most exciting of matchups. Gamrot really taking it to the mat and holding on to Jalen Turner. I think Jalen landed the more significant shots. Gamrot came in ranked number 7. Turner came in ranked number 10 in the lightweight division. And really Gamrot taking Turner down, and it ended up being a split decision. And Gamrot just edging that one out. And what I think about going forward, Gamrot, just coming off the loss to Dariush, and I just don't think that Gamrot, while he's ranked number 7, I think that's his ceiling, because I don't think you can go into the top 5 of that division and expect to be successful with the way he defeated Turner last night, because he was barely successful against Turner. Turner started catching him with some good shots, and that's when Gamrot took it to the ground, got him in the body triangle, and just kind of held on. Didn't do a lot of work, and I think some of the judges saw that, and that's why he got the split decision, because there just wasn't a lot of damage being done to Turner, and he was really the aggressor on the feet. But Gamrot able to get the decision. We'll see. We'll see what happens. See if he makes adjustments going forward to really make a difference in that division. But I kind of think that we know who that top 5 is in that division, and it's really hard to break into. I think one of the most exciting things that we were all anticipating last night, especially those of us who are in the hobby and are into collecting cards and looking for the hottest new prospects. We saw the UFC debut of Bo Nickel, and he was so impressive in that first round, getting the submission over Jamie Pickett in a middleweight contest. And Bo Nickel, he did what he's done to everybody so far, and just really impressive. A little controversy, Pickett appealing that decision, but he thought that he took a shot to the crotch, but Nickel said he got him on the upper thigh. Said he would have held off and not kept charging forward had he done that, but he said he didn't. That's just not the way he wants to win a fight. I want to tend to believe him right now that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt just starting out, that and I'm sure that the UFC and the Nevada State Athletic Commission will as well, that Bo Nickel will be justified and hold on to that victory and it won't be a no contest. I'm sure that just a lot of pride there for Jamie Pickett. Don't blame him, if that's what he felt and that's what he thought, then go for it. I also saw that, and that was just the main card, and there were some fights on the prelims because it was just such a great card. You saw Dricus du Plessis getting a victory over Derek Brunson, and then kind of seeing social media after the fight that might have been it for Derek Brunson. He came in ranked number 5 in the middleweight division, and Dricus du Plessis, a lot of people were high on him going into the fight. Didn't look all that overwhelming. Both men seem to have emptied the gas tank early in that fight, and du Plessis getting the victory kind of at the bell, and Derek Brunson's corner throwing in the towel as du Plessis got off a good shot right before the end of a round. So du Plessis gonna move up, and gonna see he just wasn't impressive as he has been, and it really showed not a lot left in the tank after that contest. So we'll see how he works on that conditioning and how he makes adjustments going forward. I think some of the other matchups we saw last night, Ian Gary, the Irishman, defeating Song Kanan in a welterweight matchup. I think that was good. From a hobby standpoint, Gary in the rookie cards this year, a lot of people on him. So that's somebody to watch going forward. If you got some of those Ian Gary rookies, those look to be pretty good investments right now. We also saw the return of former bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt getting a victory over Trevin Jones. And Garbrandt was pretty impressive over the first 2 rounds, and then just kind of held on in that last round as Jones started to get the better of him. Came out today that Garbrandt may have been injured, had a neck injury that he was dealing with. And so it looked kind of like the old Cody Garbrandt through 2 rounds, but looked like the recent Cody Garbrandt in round 3. So we'll have to see what happens with no love going forward. And I mean, I like Cody Garbrandt. I was a big fan of his, watching him win the bantamweight title, and just it's been kind of hard to watch lately, and that was pretty refreshing, early on. So just hope that he gets over that injury and can keep moving forward. Saw a top 15 women's flyweight matchup, and Amanda Ribas defeating Vivian Araujo in an impressive performance by Ribas. Another great women's matchup was Tabitha Ricci, Baby Shark defeating Jessica Penne, women's strawweight matchup. Ricci getting the armbar, a really impressive move. I think probably if you're just going to watch one sequence of a fight from last night, with all those great finishes and great people on the card, I think Tabitha Ricci's finish of Jessica Penne was probably the most impressive. Just getting the hip toss on her, really slamming her down and taking control and getting that armbar. So the way she went about it was impressive. And I'm not the most technical person, and I'm just going to say that I'm not a technical person. I leave that to experts who've been doing this for a long time. My thing is to talk about the hobby and not so much about the fights themselves, because the way the show's formatted is I'm going to talk about the recent card first, and I'm going to talk about that for 5 or 10 minutes, and we're going to talk about what that means going forward. Then we're going to talk about some of the big matchups coming up and some matchups to make. And so we're going to talk about events for 15, 20 minutes. And so that's the beginning of the show. And then we start getting into the hobby aspect in the second half of the show. So I want to keep it to about 45 minutes. Really haven't opened a big hobby box yet, so we'll see how long it takes to get through this box of Optic. But we've been pretty good about staying around 45 minutes. I think that's a good number to shoot for. But if we go a little longer, opening cards, that's never a bad thing. But I'm not going to go through and really break down every matchup that happened. That's just not my strong suit. And, I'll just touch on it and kind of relate it back to what that means going forward, and, what that means from a hobby perspective. So that was UFC 285, a great event from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And so what we have next, coming up next weekend, March 11th, and it's actually at the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas, and a pretty good card. And we start off with the bantamweight matchup, number 2 against number 3. We've got Petr Yan against Merab Dvalishvili. So good matchup there in the bantamweight division. And with, a potential matchup with Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo on the horizon. Got Sean O'Malley lurking there. Could be, if Merab pulls that off, could see him jump into that title picture pretty quickly. But you got O'Malley waiting in the wings. And so it'll be interesting going forward, and a great division to watch. And also added to that card, had the event canceled last week with Nikita Krylov missing the event with an illness, and it's supposed to be the main event last week. And so Nikita Krylov, ranked number 6, he'll be taking on the 8th ranked light heavyweight Ryan Spann. It's actually, I was reading today, it's going to be a catch weight. So as both men went through a training camp, went through a weight cut, so I believe they're gonna have a catch weight fight there. Other matchups, top 15 matchup in the heavyweight division, Alexander Volkov, and he's ranked number 8 against number 13, Alexander Romanov. And that's a pretty full night. You can go through and find the rest of that card. Pretty decent card for a fight night. Pretty exciting. Should be fun to watch. And then we get to UFC 286 on March 18th in London. We've got champion Leon Edwards facing the former champion Kamaru Usman for the welterweight title. And in the lightweight division, number 3 Justin Gaethje against number 6 Rafael Fiziev. Just some of the other highlights coming up. We've got Fight Night March 25th in San Antonio. Not too far from me. I'm in the Houston area. I wish I could be there, but I won't be able to make it that weekend. Hopefully I'll be making an event sometime as we keep going along with the show, that it gets bigger and bigger, and I can start kind of going on the road with these events. It'd be nice. But you got Marlon Chito Vera taking on Corey Sandhagen, number 4 against number 5 in the bantamweight division. Just see how stacked that division is. It's just going to be really interesting to see that going forward. Right after as we get to UFC 288, we'll talk about in a minute. But you also have the women's bantamweight division, 3rd ranked Holly Holm against number 6 Yana Santos. And some of these events that they've been adding on to some recently announced events. UFC 287, April 8th in Miami. It's going to be the middleweight champion Alex Pereira taking on the former champion Israel Adesanya. And you've got a top 11 matchup with number 5 Gilbert Burns against number 11 Jorge Masvidal in the welterweight division. And also added to that, Kevin Holland against Santiago Ponzinibbio. And you're going to see the second matchup of the 18-year-old phenom Raul Rosas Jr. against Christian Rodriguez in the bantamweight division. And another bantamweight matchup, top 15, number 6 Rob Font against number 13 Adrian Yanez. And also, you've got other ranked fighters on that card. Kelvin Gastelum taking on Chris Curtis in the middleweight division. Michael Chiesa taking on Leach in the welterweight division, and the women's strawweight division. Michelle Waterson Gomez against Luana Pinera. So a great event at UFC 287 coming up. All these just, if you're a UFC fan, the card makers really getting us into the action early this year. It's really exciting. Even these fight night events have been great. Fight night on April 15th features Max Holloway against Arnold Allen. In the featherweight division, Max Holloway ranked number 1, Arnold Allen number 4. So you can kind of see where this is going, because you're going to see a matchup likely with Alex Volkanovski against Yair Rodriguez to unify the featherweight title, and then probably the winner of Holloway and Allen, getting the winner of that one. Some other things that have happened this week. Fight night on April 22nd from the Apex in Las Vegas. Number 3, Sergey Pavlovich against number 4, Curtis Blades in the heavyweight division. We'll talk about that in a second, how that kind of factors in. You've also got Song Yadong taking on Ricky Simon in the bantamweight division, top 10 matchup there. Fight night, April 29th, Seoul, Korea. And it looks like it's going to be number 9, Ilya Topuria, against number 6, the Korean Zombie, in the featherweight division. Nothing else, nothing official there yet, but that's a likely headliner for that event in Seoul. And then UFC 288, May 6th, at a site to be determined. Not official yet, but you're likely going to see the bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling taking on Henry Cejudo, former champion, and then also in the lightweight division, former champion and number 1 contender Charles Oliveira taking on the number 4 contender Beneil Dariush. We also got a women's strawweight matchup, Marina Rodriguez against Virna Jandiroba, and Jessica Andrade and Yan Xiaonan matching up. That one just coming out this week, number 6 against number 5. Also, fight night on May 13th to be determined on the location. 5th ranked light heavyweight Anthony Smith going to be taking on number 7 Johnny Walker. I've got a heavyweight matchup, Yair Rozenstruik against Jalton Almeida, number 9 against number 14, and then we kind of keep going with the events that have been that are in the works and not officially announced. But May 20th on a fight night, site to be determined in the women's strawweight division, number 7 Mackenzie Dern against number 12 Angela Hill. So that's kind of what the schedule has looked like. Some of the things that have leaked out this week and things that we've kind of added on to our schedule. I think the one thing that you can kind of bank on at this point, that at UFC 290 on July 8th, that'll be in Las Vegas, International Fight Week, that you're going to see John Jones take on the number 2 heavyweight contender, former champion, Stipe Miocic. So John Jones, people's, after last night, I don't think that they argue that he's the greatest of all time anymore, but you've got Stipe, who people don't really argue that he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. So that'll be a tremendous matchup. And you kind of see where this is going, because we talked about Sergey Pavlovich and Curtis Blades on April 22nd. This seems like a little tournament right here, that you've got number 1 against going against number 2, and then number 3 against number 4. And you would likely see the winners of those matchups take on each other for the heavyweight title, somewhere down the line before the end of the year. So it would be a great matchup, Jones, Miocic, and Pavlovich and Blades, as that they play a little heavyweight tournament there over the next few months. So we've gone through the schedule, and I think some other matchups that we want to talk about, or one I want to talk about anyway, is in the women's flyweight division, with Alexa Grasso defeating Valentina Shevchenko last night. And what does that do with Erin Blanchfield and Tayla Santos and all the women's flyweight division? And is Erin Blanchfield next in line? Will she take on Alexa Grasso? Will Shevchenko get the rematch against Grasso before Erin Blanchfield gets her chance? It's all things up in the air at this point. I think the one thing with these former champions getting the immediate rematch, you've got Usman against Edwards coming up, you've got Pereira against Adesanya coming up. So you've got these rematches. I think what happens with those, just my perspective, is in those cases the champion was leading on the scorecards and got caught, and so it happened with Grasso and Shevchenko. Shevchenko went for a spinning kick. She missed, and Grasso took her back and was able to submit her. So you saw the same thing, Leon Edwards hitting that headshot on the kick to Usman, and then Pereira catching Adesanya late. But in all 3 cases, I believe the champion was ahead on the scorecards, and that's why they get the immediate rematch, because all it took was one mistake by those champions, and they got caught and they got finished. So I think you might see Shevchenko. I think she's earned those stripes to be able to get that immediate rematch. But a lot of us want to see Erin Blanchfield and what she can do. So it'd be interesting to see that division going forward. Blanchfield may have to wait her turn one more time as Shevchenko gets a chance to regain that belt. The interesting thing I heard this week was Shevchenko, the new UFC belts, they have a place on them where they put a ruby for each title defense, and I think it takes 8 to fill up the whole thing. And so Shevchenko was going to be the first one since the redesign of the belt to become the first one to fill up that section with the rubies, and she fell short. So she wasn't able to get that last one in there. So now we'll see what happens going forward. So I think that is about enough that we've covered about last night in UFC 285 and what we have going forward. And we'll kind of move into our hobby section of the show. So we've seen over the last couple of weeks, we'll look at what we've pulled out of those immaculate boxes here in a second. And we'll move on to Optic. I have these Optic boxes because I had these before, but they're a little bit older. And I got the Immaculate, and I figured let's just go with what's hot. Let's go ahead and open the Immaculate while we have it. We'll get to the Optic later. And so that's why we're going the Optic now, and we'll do that next week. Then we'll get to the 22 Prism in 2 weeks from now. And hopefully we'll be seeing some 2023 Prism coming out pretty soon, and I can get my hands on some of that. And we'll start opening as much as we can. The one announcement I want to make about that is just everybody who can support the show, I hope that you will. I just hope that you tell. The main thing is tell your friends about the show. Anybody who would be interested in this, let them know to subscribe. That'll really help us out to get those numbers up. And because everything that we can monetize on the show will be put back into the show. The more support that I have, I can have towards buying more products. Is what I want to do. Is I want to buy more Prism. I want to open that up on the show. And if anybody wants to donate to the show, I'd really appreciate that. We'll kind of I'll find some kind of gift for you. But any gift that is made to the show, you can contact me, Russ, at orange-fire.com. You can find me on Facebook, at Orange Fire Media, any social media outlet. And I'll let you know how you can do that. But anything that is donated to the show will go into buying more products. And right now it'd be Prism, and that's what we're looking forward to here in the next few weeks. Still don't have a release date on Prism or a checklist, but I'm really interested in both. Once we get the checklist, we'll talk about more about that on the show when we get that, to see what rookies other than Alex Pereira are going to be in there. We want to see some Aaron Blanchfield, just see some other. I don't know that Bo Nickel and Raul Rosas Jr., if they were recent enough to be able to make it into this set, but it'd be really awesome if they were. And so we'll just have to keep our eye out on that. So now let's get to our hobby top 5 for the week. That's what we do before we get into opening cards. So we're going to start with number 5, and this is tough. I mean, picking number 5 is always the hardest. And so number 5 this week, and I base this on just the price of certain fighters' cards, how much they're going for in breaks. I kind of keep my eye on a couple of different metrics to come to my conclusion. And jumping into the top 5 this week, it's interesting. It may change upcoming here in the next couple of weeks. May change on April 8th. But Israel Adesanya is number 5. People are still after Izzy. I think that the reason why he is in here, why he jumps in here, is because he's in everything. And there are really low-numbered cards and chase cards of Izzy in everything. So everybody likes him. Everybody's after his cards, and so he jumps in at number 5. And the top 4, they've moved around, but they're the same names. Number 4 this week is Sugar Sean O'Malley. Number 3, Islam Makhachev. And the top 2 spots again, but they are switching places this week. Number 2 is Hamzat Shemaev. And the number 1 this week, coming off a victory, is no question, it is Shavkat Rakhmonov. So if you're on and you're on the chat, you have a disagreement about those, let me know. That's my top 5 for the week. So we'll go 1 through 5 now. Rakhmonov, Shemaev, Makhachev, O'Malley, and Adesanya. And actually, this week I was going to give you an honorable mention to see how I arrive at this. So my next 4 are Ilia Topuria, Tom Aspinall, Paddy Pimblett, and Khabib Nurmagomedov. I know Khabib's been out, but man, people still want his cards, and we'll pay a lot to get them. So that's my top 9 this week. Hadn't done that before, but those are my honorable mentions. Just to let you know, pull back the curtain a little bit to let you know how I kind of arrive at that top 5. What other names I'm kind of considering, and the reason why, Patty was really hot this year, early on, but as kind of the results have not been as favorable. Patty's in a lot of products, and it's just a big name to chase. He's really popular, but I just don't think carries the results that the top 5 does at this point. And Topuria and Aspinall, Pimblett, all rookies. Rakhmonov, a rookie, and he's in that top spot, and that's a big reason why, is because those are the big rookie cards this year. So what we're doing this week is opening these boxes of Optic, but before we do that, we're going to look at our card giveaways. And these are cards we're going to give away at some point to our subscribers. So every lot is 5 fighters, and every lot has a numbered card. So you see right there, numbered Justin Gaethje. A lot of these are from Chronicles, and we'll be adding to these whatever we pull out of the retail boxes, and these will go into these lots. And so there you can see some Optic, some Chronicles, some Donruss, and there's a Silver Prism. So, not just giving away, base cards here. Got a 11 card Holly Holm lot right here. That card numbered to 99. So, if you like Holly Holm, subscribe and get entered into our card giveaway. So that's Holly Holm. Got a Jan Blachowicz lot. That one's numbered to 99. So anything that we pull out of Optic and out of the Prism will be added to this. There's a Prism from last year, Blachowicz. We'll get to the big one here in a second, especially after last night. Got Robert Whitaker. That was numbered to 199, but all of these include a numbered card. And we'll be giving all of these away at some point. But got to get those numbers up. That's the big thing. And it's not, it's not just me wanting numbers. It's just wanting to grow this community. And, the more success that this podcast has, the more products that I can buy. That's really the bottom line on it. It's not for me to stroke my ego and me to want to be the best podcaster out there. It's not about it. It's really about just getting more cards for us to look at together. That's really all my only motivation right there. Is for that reason. So here is the big one. This is a 13 card John Jones lot at this point, because we've been adding to it here over the last few weeks. And the number card, this one's numbered to 199, but a couple of really nice looking cards in this lot. As you see, pretty good selection of Chronicles, and adding an Optic there, adding a Prism into that lot. It's a huge John Jones lot after last night, and that's how those cards will be sent to you in the top loaders, first class. So tell your friends about that, to subscribe, and we will do that at some point. Let me adjust this camera before we get going here. Make it a little bit easier to see these cards. But that's going to be our Fighter Lock giveaway, and that is only open to subscribers. So if you subscribe to the show, you'll be entered into that. But you do need to make your profile public so I can see it, so I can enter your name into it. Or you got to let me know that you're a subscriber. And again, my email address is russ@orange-fire.com. And you can find me on all the social media platforms at Orange Fire Media. Find me on Facebook, just Russ Renault, and a really great card group that I'm a member of is UFC Sports Cards. Breaks run by Kevin Fernandez. A really great group. A lot of people, who are subscribers are from that group, and I really appreciate them being on here and supporting me, and hope that everybody else will sign up at some point because, you're kind of missing out. This is a good place to go to get cards. Because, like I said, everything is available on here. You just have to get in touch with me, and we'll work something out. We can work out a trade, make me an offer. But not so much. I do like to trade, but kind of looking to build up that cachet to buy some more Prism this year. That's what I want to do over the next month is just kind of build up as much credit, to really cash in on the Prism and open as many boxes of that as we can, because it takes a while for Select to come out after that. So I just kind of want to have the Prism stock built up so that we can open stuff pretty regularly and not have to go into my lot box, which we haven't done yet. We haven't had to do yet, but I think we'll see how we go along and see if we ever have to do that. So we'll start off with this retail box of Optic. $30 cards in this box. I think we've opened one box of Optic so far, but no hobbies yet. Just kind of did a teaser with the retail. And that's the other thing. I don't want to buy as much retail. I do want to buy as many hobbies as we can and not just be open to retail just because that's all we have. It's all we can get our hands on that week. So for those of you new to trading cards, the retail boxes are the ones you can buy at Target, Walmart, wherever you can find those. The smaller boxes, they're about $25. But your chances, you're not guaranteed an autograph, you're not guaranteed any numbered cards. The best I've done last year with the 22 product, back when Don Russ came out, I was able to pull of 49 Charles Oliveira. But that was the only numbered card I think I pulled out of a retail box all year long. So your chances aren't as good, but just a fun rip. Good to get the kids involved and not have to spend a fortune on a hobby box. But I'll go through every card as we go along, and just so the people that are listening on audio only know exactly what we're looking at, and they can go back later and see exactly what we open. So here's the base cards in this box of retail Optic. Raquel Pennington, Misha Tate, Caitlin Chukagian. That's a women's run there to begin with. Frankie Edgar, and look at that, a John Jones Dominator that we will add to that lot. 14 John Jones cards in that lot right now. So really pulling out the bones. Before we open that hobby box, we're going to get to what we pulled out of those boxes of Immaculate, just so you can see what we've pulled on the show so far. The Kamaru Usman, Macy Barber, George St. Pierre, Amanda Nunes, and Alexander Volkanovski, also known as the Great. So there's that. Get one insert card in here on average. So as explaining the difference, and in that hobby box, you're pretty much guaranteed one autograph in optic. Some of the other products you're guaranteed two. Like you see the Prism, 2 autographs per average. 144 cards in that Prism box, and really looking forward to that one. So number 2 on our hobby top 5, there's the base Hamzat Chimaev, Giga Chikadze, Yuri Prochazka, Alexander Pantoja, and My House Rose Namajunas. So nothing numbered halfway through. And so if you've got a question, comment, feel free to leave something in the chat. Be happy to take a look at it. Pack number 4, the Dustin Poirier, Tai Tuivasa, TJ Dillashaw, former champion now Valentina Shevchenko, and look at that, back-to-back. You got a silver prism, Valentina. So that'll go into our lot box. One day we'll pull those out. We've got some lots of every fighter kind of put together, all the big fighters that I put together. There's some number cards spread throughout there. Pack number 5 and one left. So Justin Gaethje we can add to that lot. Paulo Costa. Flyweight champion Brandon Moreno, Lauren Murphy, and stargazing Aljamain Sterling. That's the insert card in that pack. So to finish off this retail box before we get into the hobby, which is what everybody's been waiting for anyway, but I have to get through this retail first. Sorry about the pack noise in the microphone, but base cards, Alexander Volkanovski, Merab Dvalishvili, Rafael dos Anjos, Carla Esparza, and the insert card is a Piotr Jan Dominators. You kind of got a scratch there at the top too, so not perfect. All right, so before we get into this hobby box, I wanted to show everybody what we pulled out of the immaculate boxes that we had. I am missing one card. Did sell one card this week. Saeed Nurmagomedov. So that one has been in the mail, but this was the big one for me. I do collect Tom Aspinall, and so I pulled this one on last week's show. Shadow box, 68 of 99 on that one. This one was pulled 2 weeks ago. This is the big one out of that one. Yuri Prochazka, the red, 20 of 25. The biggest one so far, the biggest pull I've ever had, as far as numbers go, was this Henry Cejudo, 3 of 4. The jumbo memorabilia, the walkout pants, just a slick-looking card. If you're a Henry Cejudo fan, that's about as good as you can get other than a 1 of 1. Also, we got Matt Brown autograph, all-time greats, 86 of 99. 2 weeks ago, we pulled the Zhang Weili moments, winning the UFC strawweight title in 2019, and won it again last year. Jumbo memorabilia, Francis Ngannou, that's numbered to 99. The Derek Lewis autograph memorabilia, that's numbered to 99. This one was a good one, a gold Mark Coleman, all-time greats, auto, all of these on card, and that one's numbered 4 of 10. Another autographed memorabilia card, former strawweight champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Memorabilia cards numbered to 99, tied to Avasa and of Tisha Torres. So that is what we pulled out of Immaculate. If you're interested in any of that, just let me know. Russ at orange-fire.com. We'll get those back out of the way. Really don't want to mess those up. And also want to make a little bit more room, so I'm going to get our giveaway cards out of the way. Again, get your friends to subscribe to be entered into the card giveaways. It's the only way that people can be entered into the giveaway is to be a subscriber. Apologize for that. So here we go with the 2022 Don Russ Optic Hobby Box. This is the first one of 2. We'll do the same thing next week. We'll have retail, and then we'll open a hobby box of Optic next week. And then 2 weeks from now, we will open the Prism, which is what I'm looking forward to, because I got it backwards earlier. Don Russ came out after Prism, and then Select came out, and then Chronicles. So we'll get as much Prism as we can after that. After we get through the 22, we'll get to the 23. And hopefully we can make it until the Don Russ comes out. We'll just see how long it takes us to get through this hobby box. We've already gone 45 minutes, so usually by this point we're wrapping it up. But probably going to have at least another 20 minutes or so on the show going through this hobby box. So I want to get some of this stuff out of the way as we can, so we can protect any numbered cards that we find, anything that's the autograph card that's in here. So I think we're all set. So anything numbered we will take care of. Let me get this other hobby out of the way so I've got some more room. So here we go. First hobby box of Optic this year for me. Again, if you see anything you like, just let me know. So here we go. Brandon Moreno. I've already seen some of these. Lauren Murphy, Alexander Volkanovski, and Kamaru Usman. And Dominators. That's the only insert card in that one. Not as exciting as the Immaculate. That's just a fun rip. Merab Dvalishvili, these are the base cards. Rafael dos Anjos, Carla Esparza, and a blue Michelle Watterson Gomez. That one is numbered 89 to 99. So my first numbered card out of Optic this year. And Michelle Watterson Gomez, when is her fight? I know it's coming up. Got to find it on my schedule up here. Well, I'll find it at some point. We'll get this in here. So there's our first numbered card in Optic. It's really bothering me that I can't find Michelle Waterson on this list. Here we go. Let's just keep going. So here we go with the third pack. The interim featherweight champion, Yair Rodriguez. Robert Whitaker. We'll add that. There we go. Number 1 on the hobby top 5. There we go. Rated rookie, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Nice. And a silver, Dustin Poirier. So there we go. Number 1 on the hobby top 5, Shavkat. Some Dustin Poirier to add. Got to put that Robert Whitaker into our pile. Let's take care of Shavkat. I know it's a base card, but he's just so hot right now. People will even buy that. He's been a hard pull for me this year. Him and for whatever reason, Tracy Cortez. I've not pulled a single Tracy Cortez card this whole year. And I found the Michelle Waterson-Gomez fight April 8th, UFC 287 in Miami. She'll be taking on Luana Pinheiro in the strawweight matchup. Waterson-Gomez, number 11. Pinheiro, number 13. So there's a Shavkat in there. Nice if we could get an auto out of the next one. That's our next Shavkat that we get. So here's this pack. Yuri Prochazka, Alexander Pantoja, Dustin Poirier, and a stargazing Conor McGregor. So the hobby boxes really extend the show. That's a nice one. I cheated. I saw the insert card, and it's a good one. So here's the base cards: Tai Tuivasa, T.J. Dillashaw, another Valentina Shevchenko, and check this one out. Number 2 on our hobby top 5. Look at this: Khamzat Chimaev Dominators. It's a prism, and it is numbered number 7 of 49. Awesome. 49 pull. That's good. Start building out another lot of Khamzat. Able to get a lot of him this year, and those do not stick around long. You put those up for sale, and they're gone. So really good pull there. So look at that one. Again, 7 of 49. So 2 numbered cards so far. Another Justin Gaethje to add to our lot. Paulo Costa, Chris Daukaus rated rookie, and a T.J. Dillashaw silver prism. Still looking for our auto. Haven't pulled one of those yet. The base cards: Bilal Muhammad, Iceman Chuck Liddell, Ian Gary, he got a win last night, and silver prism, Alexander Pantoja. The base cards in this pack: Petr Yan, Yan Xiaonan, Charles Oliveira, and there we go, Marco Sullivan. There's your BJ Penn, My House. Be getting that one, my friend. And try not to see that insert card on the bottom. I got to open it in a way that I can avoid that. But here we go: Derek Brunson, Davison Figueiredo, welterweight champ Leon Edwards, and stargazing Max Holloway. Here we go. Anthony Smith, Henry Cejudo, Zhang Wei Li, and also known as Blessed Max Holloway, not numbered. Holloway in the previous pack. About halfway through here. I like getting Anthony Smith. Just a personal note. I listened to the Believe You Me podcast with Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith, and really kind of encouraged me to, or inspired me to do this. And I said, what could I do as a podcast for the UFC that UFC related that would be different? Because I'm not going to talk about fights the way that the fighters themselves, former fighters, do. What can I do? Can I make a hobby podcast that's interesting? And I hope it is. Still growing. Like I said, this episode number 6. And just trying to do the best I can. Hopefully it's something that everybody enjoys and that we can grow this bigger and open more cards. And I didn't want it to be a break podcast, just because I wanted this to be kind of family friendly. And just personal note, just want to be family friendly. I know there's a lot of podcasts that kids can't listen to, but this is a hobby that a lot of us have been doing since we were kids, and I want this to be a safe place for them to come and listen, and just not have to hear a lot of bad language, and it's just not the place for it on this podcast. But there's time and place for everything. But just want this to be a place for the hobby that kids can get involved and ask questions. If it's something they're interested in, that this is where they can come, and that it grows and it just becomes a really good show for them. That we help them along and help them in the hobby the way that people did, back in the day when we started out. So that's my personal note there. So here's a Magomed Ankalaev, Calvin Kattar, Jared Cannonier, and a Daniel Cormier Silver Prism My House. So we'll add that to our DC lot. Still looking for our auto. Haven't hit that one yet. Here we go. The base cards: Brock Lesnar, Surreal Gane, Movsar Evloev, rated rookie, and another Valentina Shevchenko Silver Prism. Pulled 2 of those tonight. Anybody wants a Valentina Silver Prism, let me know. You might be getting that one for free. There we go. Mark Coleman, Ketlin Vieira, Shogun Hua, and also known as Funkmaster Aljamain Sterling. Auto's still out there. Let me open them this way. So Kevin Fernandez, the pro, I'm sure this is how he does it. I've just figured that out. So here we go. Curtis Blades, Anderson Silva, Jessica Andrade, and in my house, Alexander Volkanovski. So we got 2 numbered cards early. Haven't seen one in a while, so maybe this one will have one. There we go. It's a base card, but still, people like pulling the Sugar Show. Sean O'Malley, number 4 on our hobby top 5 this week, and our honorable mention would be Nurmagomedov. There's a Holly Holm to add to our giveaway lot, and Juliana Pena. And that's a stargazing Juliana Pena. The insert in that one. We're going to get down this last pack before we pull the auto. Here we go. Tisha Torres, Francis Ngannou, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and another Juliana Pena insert in my house. Got 4 packs left. Pulled 2 numbered cards so far, but haven't seen the auto. Raquel Pennington. Another Miesha Tate. Let's see what we got here. There we go. There's the auto. Optographs. Rose Namajunas. So, not bad. Not bad. That one's not numbered, but this next one is. We got 2 inserts in here. So, protect that rose here in a second. But look at that. Aljamain Sterling. And that one is numbered 64 of 79. So, pretty good pack there. Let's get this Aljo and the rose packed away. And I'll pull those cards, the numbered cards and the auto, I'll pull those back out. So we can take a look at the good pulls from these. Again, if you collect anybody that you see, there's something that you need out of these packs. It's a base card, just let me know. Russ at orange-fire.com. So there's a Rose Namajunas. Haven't pulled a Rose auto before. That was pretty good. See if we get lucky and pull another auto out of here. Might be asking a little bit too much. But maybe we can get one more numbered card before we get out of here. Caitlin Chukagian, Frankie Edgar, Kamaru Usman, and the Glover Teixeira Dominators. 2 more packs left. And that's the first time we've topped the hour mark. And that's what you get with a hobby box. Can't imagine, Kevin Fernandez just, those breaks, going through those cases. More power to him. That's why we keep it simple on this show. Macy Barber, another GSP, the John Anik Voices of the Octagon, and Tai Tuivasa Silver Prism. 1 pack left. So here we go. Amanda Nunes, Hamzat Chimaev, Giga Chikazi, and look at that. Last card that we have of the night, and it is a Shavkat Rakhmonov Silver Prism. Nice. I know it's not numbered, but man, he's so good. So I don't think I have any Shavkats left. These are the only 2 I have. People have wanted these so bad. Man, I just want to keep ripping stuff. But I got to save it for next week. Let's see what we got this week. Save those 2. Let's do those 2 first. So, they're base, but number 1 on our hobby top 5, Shavkat Rakhmonov base, and we got the Silver Prism. We pulled the Rose Namajunas Optographs. No number on that one. But we got the Aljamain Sterling, numbered 64 to 79. Got the Hamzat Shemaev Dominators, and that one is numbered 7 out of 49. So that was number 2 on our Hobby Top 5. And the Michelle Watterson Gomez, that was the first insert we pulled, and that one's 89 of 99. So we got 6 cards worth protecting out of that. So the others be added to our fighter lots. Got a few to add to our giveaway lots. We're starting off with 5. We're going to have more. That's just the start. That's just to get started. That's to finish off the 2022 products. We're going to give those away when I finish the rips of the 2022 products, which will be in 2 weeks. When I finish with this box of Prism. We'll have this box of Prism coming up 2 weeks from now on March 19th. We're going to do another Optic Retail, Optic Hobby combo next week on next week's show. We do this every Sunday at 9 o'clock Central Time on YouTube. And then I upload the audio afterwards, and you can listen to it. If you're listening and you hear anything that you like, just let me know. You can go back and watch the show if you want to see it. It's all there, every platform you can think of. But we start off live on YouTube every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Time, and we open something every week. Hasn't been a week yet that I've had to go to my box, my lot box is what I call it. I've just got a bunch of fighter lots broken out. But we're going to start off by giving away those 5 fighter lots that I showed you earlier. John Jones, the new heavyweight champion, greatest of all time. Got Holly Holm, Justin Gaethje, Robert Whitaker, and Jan Blachowicz. We're going to give away 5 lots of those fighters, and each one has a numbered card in it. The John Jones, I think we pulled one here. That one's up to 14 cards now, and we've got 2 weeks left to add to it. We're going to add some Optic next week, and then we're going to add some Prism in 2 weeks. And I can't wait because I haven't opened any Prism yet this year. I started with the Donruss and worked all the way through the Select and the Chronicles, the Immaculate, and the Optic. So I've opened something of everything, hobby boxes of everything except for Prism, and I've got one left, and then I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are too, and I hope you tell everybody about it, because this show is only going to be as good as its subscribers, and I'm really looking forward to bringing you a good show every week, a place to come and talk about what's going on in the UFC and what's going on in the card hobby. Hopefully we'll have some more news on Prism soon. Maybe we'll have a release date, at least a checklist would be nice, but we'll see. We'll stay tuned for that. But again, thanks for everybody who's been here from the beginning. Thanks to everybody who's here for the first time. One more look at the pulls we had from Optic tonight. Hamzat of 79, Aljo of 49, the Rose Namajunas auto, the Shavkat Silver Prism, and the Michelle Watterson of 99. So that is this week's show number 6. It was a good one. First one of March. Thanks everybody for coming in, and tell your friends about it, and subscribe to be entered into those card giveaways. That's the only way that you can be entered into the giveaway, is to subscribe. So let everybody know, and we'll see you next time, next Sunday, 9 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. I'm Russ Renault. Good night, everybody, and have a great week.